Hello, tile friends. What's up, Global Tile Posse? It's good to be back with another episode of the podcast, Global Tile Podcast. We are live today with, of course, our host, Jason McDaniel, and we've got a guest in the studio. Robert Grace is joining us from England. And Robert's recently came up with, he's a great fixer. He goes back a lot of years as a tile installer. We're going to use the word fixer today because that is the word he uses. And, you know, listen, this is the Global Tile Posse, so we're glad to have some international guests. Jason, I'm going to turn it over to you. How are you doing, Jason? And you can get this thing started.
Yeah, man, I'm good, and I'm excited. You know, this is really cool. We had an opportunity to just kind of rap a little bit for a few minutes before we came out live here, and I could just see it automatically. I thought, man, this conversation could go on forever. I realized that not every day. I've been looking at the pictures on Instagram and the Gilded Trowel Award and the work I'm seeing. You know, I think what I said, Luke, right before we went live was, just the work is so incredible, and I think that right when I think, man, I'm pushing the industry, you know, I'm doing really cool stuff. I see some of the work on these images from the Gilded Trowel and Instagram, and I'm like, never mind. You know, like, damn, do I have a long way to go before I ever got my hand, you know, just to even have the opportunity to do something like that. So part of my question was, you know, I think asking what, you know, talk a little bit about yourself and how that all came about. When did you start? How old were you? How did that all happen?
Well, happy 4th of July, by the way, guys. I know it's a bit of a lockdown one, but next year, let's please God, it will be a double celebration anyway. I started tiling straight from school. I was doing art and sociology at school, and my dad, who is a tradesman, an asphalt roofer, he suggested I get a trade. So I looked at all the industries, and I saw a picture of a mosaic gecko, and I kind of figured that I could possibly be a little bit artistic if I was to choose ceramic wall and floor tiling as a trade. I managed to get an apprenticeship, which is like gold dust. Really a city and guilds apprenticeship in ceramic wall and floor tiling, and I won the City and Guilds Award, and I was fortunate I won the National Master Tile Fixers Association Award as well when I finished college. So at a very young age, at 22 years old, I had a real good foundation, and still a bit goofy, and although I was working on site as an apprentice, not for myself, but for a company. I started working for myself, but I also went into probably the most expensive tile shop in London at the time and said, I'd like to fix tiles for you. Can you give me an opportunity? And they did. It gave me a real good start. I kind of put myself out there at a very young age. I knew how to communicate, and I think that is part and parcel of putting yourself across. How you present yourself to clients is really as important as being able to do the job. It's how you present yourself, how you keeping the job tidy and clean. And I was always like that. And I built myself a wonderful client base, and ended up traveling around the world fixing tiles. And it gave me an incredible life, a job that I love to do, a great living. And I was always pushing the boundaries. I'd always challenge myself to want to take. I'd put myself, without elbowing my way anywhere, I'd want to be challenging for the better jobs.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to do them. You see, that these jobs are done by tile fixers. And now in the mix, we're an enormous industry. I think the industry's been diluted. And that Ken from Hudson Tiling, he touched upon this about the varying levels of tile fixing. We've got a lot of multi-traders that will plaster a wall and then put the tiles on. We've got where we're a specific trade. And as an apprentice, we had to learn how to prepare substrates, because we've got a multitude of applications with substrates, fixing tiles in sand and cement, or into a wet render, or using different polymers with adhesives and what have you. So we had to learn all of that as tradesmen. And I just think that because I was fortunate, and I was fortunate to get the achievement that I did at a very young age, which gave me a lot of confidence. I want to showcase that this is the best craft in the building industry. There's not another one like it. You cannot get another trade that can. We're a cosmetic trade. You know, we're cosmetic. I mean, never seen so many ugly beauticians. We are beauticians, you know, in a sense. we can transform a cement render into a beautiful, tactile, colourful finish using a multitude of mediums, a multitude of format tiles on multiple applications. And this award is all about showcasing what a fantastic industry this is. And this isn't about the type of work that you do. This is about we had a bit of a glitch there.
Uh-oh. That's me. Hey, it's all good. Luke's gone. It's just you and I. That's fine.
Yeah. So this award is about purely about showcasing what a great craft this is, and it's also when we work, and you know this as a fixer yourself. This industry. When you take a job on, you've got to worry about if you're pricing it correctly, if you know, and the finish of the job and the work that the preparation. But when we get paid, getting paid from a job is one part of it, but the adulation we get is another part. You know, when someone leaves you with a key to the house, goes to work, comes back in the evening, and you've transformed this plasterboard wall into a beautiful finish, they're happy to do that. You get a lot of adulation for this work.
Absolutely, yeah,
and
that's
it's
cool.
as much as the money in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think that what I want to try and do, because I was fortunate in what I achieved very young, I want to be able to pass that on. And then if we make this industry as a group of individual craftsmen, collectively, if we can showcase this craft as the best in the industry, we can encourage youngsters into it, because there's a missing generation of good tile fixers. There is a missing generation, and we can't. Somebody tweeted today about ask a child or ask a youngster now, or suggest something that they wouldn't know that we were told when we were younger. And someone said Etch-a-Sketch, which was a game then, wasn't it? You know?
Yeah, Etch-a-Sketch, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I tweeted, well, you have to work for it. That's what I put down.
Yeah, straight up, absolutely.
They just don't get it, you know.
They don't.
I posted something which said, you know, there is no elevator to the top. You have to take the stairs.
You do.
You know, and if it means doing a 4-year apprenticeship where you're earning, you know, not a lot of money, but in the real world, you are earning a lot more than somebody that wants to take a university degree,
right?
And then coming out of university with £50,000 worth of encumberment, which they have to pay back.
Absolutely.
Whereas an apprentice, you get paid, you know, not fantastic money, but you're getting paid to go and learn a trade,
right?
Which means you come out with a qualification, you know, with no debt. And it's people don't get it. So you might earn £150 a week as an apprentice or a first-year apprentice, but as a 7-year law degree student, you're going to owe the bank £65,000
for sure, for sure.
And you're paying 6% interest on that for the rest of your life. You know.
Yeah.
And the government in the UK have acknowledged the City and Guilds Apprenticeship Award as the equivalent to a university degree, and it's about time they did that, because we've got to encourage young people into the craft industry. And if we can glam this up in any way, shape, or form, because it is a glamorous trade. I know we get up to our knees in grout, you know, but when it's all polished off and you're looking at this finished project, you know, they tend to be quite spectacular.
Yeah, they do.
So, you know, it's the journey. You know, a famous artist once said, you know, if you knew the journey it took me to get here, you wouldn't want to be me. You know, so we do that. We do that every week, don't we? You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I talk about it. I talk about it all the time. That you know, I think and once you get to a certain point, because I mean, I've been very honest about my road to where I'm at now. Not to say that I have achieved much, but you know, I was taught wrong. I didn't have an apprenticeship program. I was a stone fabricator, and I had to do tile, or else I wasn't going to be able to pay rent. So I learned tile from a guy who just had learned it from somebody that wasn't doing it right. So my story is quick. I set tile wrong for 7 or 8 years. I mean, I was spot setting. I didn't know about waterproofing. I didn't know about substrate prep. I mean, this is something I talk about all the time. And fortunately, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, I had a situation where I needed some help, and I had the balls to say, I need some help, you know, and so I asked for some help. But it's really cool to hear what you're saying, because these are things that we talk about all the time, is that how do we get young people involved in this trade? I mean, part of what, you know, we do in Global Tile Posse is try really hard to be positive and to shed a bright light on this industry, exactly like what you're talking about. And we don't have anything quite like the Gilded Trowel here in the States. I mean, I won the Rockstar Award, but
this is a worldwide award. This goes across. You know, this is going to go across the world. This isn't about the UK. This is about tile fixers. We all do the same job. You know, we all get calluses on our hands. You know, we all get achy backs. You know, when you're punching lumps of marble up the wall. You know, we all get breathing dust. You know, we do the same thing. And so this isn't about elitist. This isn't about amazingly spectacular projects. This is about tile fixers, you know, for tile fixers.
Right.
And it might be a kitchen splashback, or it might be, you know, a bathroom or a downstairs closet. It doesn't matter what the project is. This is about tile fixers, and it's about showcasing this industry. The craft industry brings more wealth into any nation than any other industry. And I've worked for brain surgeons. I've worked for the Queen's surgeon. I've worked for some amazingly talented and wealthy people, but they'd be all living in Cardboard Alley if it wasn't for us fixing tiles in their
absolutely
bathrooms, you know.
For sure.
And creating these beautiful spaces for them. And I've been criticized with the work that I do now with these bathtubs that I'm making for the cost of them, and that it's a weight. You know, why would somebody spend £100,000 on a bathtub or £50,000 on a bathtub when there are people starving in the world? But looking at, they're paying me, and I pay my staff, and my staff pay their, you know, they feed their families and stuff. So it's kind of like, it isn't as you know, the wealthy can choose to spend their money how they want. Do you see what I mean? And that's the world, basically, isn't it? You know,
is that part of one of you said you had a lot of stuff going on. Is that part of your other businesses, that, you know, you're a tile fixer, but you've got these other businesses building tubs and
fixing
stuff?
Now, what I tend to do from the tile fixer, I've been tile fixing for over 35 years. And I'm a little bit like Shergar, the horse. I don't know if you ever heard of Shergar, but it won the Derby, the National. It won every race out there. And I'm a little bit like Shergar, and in that I've had a contract company. I have had retail. I had at one point 20 tile fixers working for me. Retail. I had an art gallery dedicated to mosaic art, showing it in its true form, not like the contemporary wall coverings you have now. I mean, in its true art form. And I had warehousing as well, where I was not distributing for my own companies. And I've come away from that now, although I still have a hand in the industry. And the client base that I've created over the 35 years are absolutely the dream team. They're the top of what they do in the industry. And I've spoken to them. And when I launched Grace of London, which is the company that I make bathtubs, I worked for a woman called Emma Grout, believe it or not. That was her written, seriously.
Wow.
Name. That was her name.
Of course it was.
Yeah, it was, seriously, it's her name. And I finished the project, and I think it was about £60,000 in this bathroom. It was an expensive bathroom. But in the middle of it was a white freestanding bathtub. And I looked back at it, and my back was aching, and my knees were aching. And you know yourself, Jason, as a tile fixer, we're only on we're on autopilot when we
Oh,
fix
big time.
okay?
Absolutely.
Your brain using 20% of your brain.
Yeah. When it's over, you're just everything hits and you're like,
I know, but you know, when we're fixing, for 80% of the time, you're thinking about what should we have for dinner tonight, you know, because you're kind of on autopilot. And I used to think about how on earth could I make this industry better, or how can I move away, or multiple streams of income? Because when my dad told me to get a trade and you'll never be out of work, he didn't tell me get a trade and you'd always have to work.
Right.
This guy, so, he's a giant hashtag.
So I kind of always figured that what did I want to do? You have to look for multiple streams of income. You know,
right.
Ken is doing it. HUD's, you know, he's got his merchandise and stuff. He's on the right road with that. You know, and he's using his brain, and he's an amazing tile fixer. Yeah, and he puts the graft in as well. He seriously puts the graft in. So, and so he's doing it. And this is also about encouraging tile fixers. You know, we don't want to be. I'm 55 now this year, so you know I can't lift 600 by 620 mil slabs into place anymore. It's backbreaking work, and so I struggle with that. The bathtub. When I got back to the bathtub, I kind of looked at it and thought to myself, well, I've been fixing mosaic domes in palaces and things, and I like the double radius stuff, and I kind of figured, what if I do something spectacular on this bathtub with mosaics, but create my own mosaics?
Wow.
Because mosaics can also be a hobbyist. You know, you get your grandmother's got a kitchen, an old garden table and wants to put mosaics on it, but I mean, you have to elevate yourself above that in a sense. So I make my own mosaics. I use 24 karat gold and platinum to create the mosaics, and I make these pieces to transform stunning into spectacular. Very small market, but the market is there. And I'd found a niche. So it allowed me to use all of the influence that I'd obtained through the client base that I'd gathered over the years, because I'd become friends with my clients, because they'd always phone you if they wanted a job. Got to a point where they wouldn't even ask me to price it. They'd just say, Rob, could you come and do a job? You know, could you get it done? And know that they were going to get a good job, and know that they were going to get priced correctly for it. But where you mentioned, Jason, about the type of work that you're doing. Yeah. This it's not as much as being the award. It's about showcasing the fact that we can all do it.
There you go.
Right. So you use the word opportunity. So if you have the right attitude is one thing. Attitude is the most important word in the dictionary for any youngster that's looking at this. If you've got the attitude to do something, you'll do it. But it's also putting yourself out there. Right. You know, somebody has to do this work. Yeah. And we all know how to fix tiles, and we know how to do it competently. It's a question of seeing the job finished before you start, and working with drawings. And I always spoke to a very, very well-known architect once, and a designer who was not a difficult designer, but he was very, very particular, which isn't a problem, because that's what they're paid to be, I suppose. But I said to him, there were some really big issues with the design that he'd come up with. And I said to him, if you just allow me to translate your design into practical application, there you go, I can do that for you. And then we had the conversation, and in the end, he was happy with the job. We managed to translate the design that he had into the finish that he wanted. I have to say, I don't know how you did it, but you're in my brain. I mean, these things that you're saying, it's like, this is what I live every single day. And so I'm listening to you, but you're saying everything that I want to say. So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So I love it. I mean, this is amazing. Well, get into the awards, Jason. Yeah. Look, what the idea of the award is, so I've got a fantastic client base. Okay. So, and I kind of thought, and I'm not ashamed to ask for favors or to say, look, you know, because we speak on a personal level. And I began speaking to Dr. Vanessa Brady, OBE. Now, she is the president of the Society of British and International Design. Her awards in the UK every year attracts, I think it was 40,000 entries across 40 different nations.
Wow.
And she has the Society of British and International Design. She's the founder and the CEO of it. And I think that the thousands of interior designers, architects, and contractors subscribe to that institution. And she is the first judge for this award.
Okay.
So by entering these awards, which is free to enter as well, because I don't want there to be any barriers for people just to say, look, you know, I did a job, but we'll go back 3 years, you know, so I did a job 3 years ago that I was really quite proud of. And don't be ashamed. I've had messages from tile fixers and said, look, you know, I don't know if this is worthy of putting into the awards. And I just say, goodness me, you know, it might not be the most complicated job, but the cutting's great and the grading's great, and it's, you know, it's an amazing job. And you can see from a tile fixer's point of view the amount of effort that's gone into that.
Totally.
You know, and so that's irrelevant, the type of job that it is.
Right.
But Vanessa, and you guys just need to Google Dr. Vanessa Brady, OBE. She was given the OBE by Her Majesty the Queen for the wealth that she's brought into the UK through the design industry. So because she's the first judge of this, and she's helping me to choose the other 4 judges, and they will be leading judges in the industries from architecture, design, and construction. Now, they all need good tile fixers all over the world. You see, so they're going to be. It's an opportunity to showcase your work.
Get your name out there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, and that's all it is.
Absolutely.
It's about being confident about your work and about and putting yourself out there without elbowing your way anywhere. Because none of us need to do that. We don't elbow our way anywhere because we'll be chosen by our own merit. But you need to put yourself into the mix.
Totally.
Because somebody has to do that work. And that's, you know, there's so much work out there now. There we go. Yeah, Dr. Vanessa Brady. You just need to Google her, because she is an incredibly intelligent woman. She's won the Businesswoman of the Year awards.
Wow,
she's incredible, and she works at a government level in the UK as well.
Did you do that, Luke?
I can share screens and stuff.
I tell you what, man, you're crafty, brother. I got to tell you. I mean, you're crafty. I thought, how did this happen? How did this all pop up on the screen? I mean, I may be a good tile fixer, but I know nothing about what Luke's doing right now. Good on you, brother.
Luke's fiendishly clever.
When it works, it's great. But as
I tell you, yeah, I was going to say that could have backfired too, right? Make sure you know what's in your browser history, brother. But hey, so tell us real quickly, you know, what's the timeline on this? You know, give us the information on. Yeah, how do you enter? Okay. What's the timeline? When does it start?
What we're going to do, we're going to give it the 1st of August. We'll start to accept entries, basically.
Okay.
So on the Grace of London website.
Grace of London website.
Yeah, I'll post this. There's a link. There'll be a link on the Grace of London website for people to post their pictures to, or email their pictures to.
Okay.
Then and also to hashtag, obviously, the Gilded Trowel award as well.
Okay.
There are going to be 3 categories, and the categories are going to be application. So we'll look at the judges will look at the application of the award, and that will be judged on the quality of the fixing, the cutting, the grouting, and the finish.
Right.
The second category will be creativity. So it'll be the use of tiles, and how they're set out and designed, basically. And then the third category is going to be the overall design finish of the actual project itself. I'm absolutely made up by Ken at Hud's Tiling is sponsoring these awards as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing because we get on like a house on fire, Ken and I. And he's a few years behind me in age, okay? But he's an architect once, when I was being introduced to a client, said that that you'll find tile fixers as good as Robert Grace, but you won't find any better. And I thought that was a wonderful,
Wow.
that was a really wonderful compliment. And I attribute that same compliment to Ken. I don't think you'll find a better tile fixer. You'll find tile fixers as good as, but I don't think you'll find a tile fixer better than Ken. It'll be you'll struggle because he's brilliant at what he does.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, I really do think that, and I'm absolutely made up that he's sponsoring the awards, because between us we have the same message, and I think we all do.
Yeah.
Slightly as we move through our career. I mean, as a tile fixer, we all want to leave our thumbprint on the world.
Totally.
And 90% of my clients for the Grace of London are NDA. You know, I have to sign non-disclosure agreements because they're working for royal families and what have you, and VIPs. But I've left my thumbprint on the world as a tile fixer. Now I know that when I'm dead and gone, that someone one day will say, "Blimey, you fix this." You know, that's a bit.
Yep. Absolutely.
But and I think that we all want to be able to do that. And I don't mean like refurbs and stuff and what have you, but some really, really tricky work and really good work. And I think that these awards I just want really good tile fixers to get the adulation that they deserve as tradesmen, you know,
for sure.
As craftsmen. We are a unique trade. You know, there's not another trade that uses the format that we do. You know, the different types of mediums, you know, terracotta, mosaic, marble, stone, ceramic, porcelain, you know, conglomerate.
Yeah.
And then in any size, shape, you know.
It not just that, but I mean, obviously, just with the way the industry is changing with drain locations and waterproofing, and you know, I mean, in the United States, curbless was. I think that in Europe and those places, the curbless showers and the wet rooms and things have been very common for a while. You know, I mean, here in the States, you know, we're seeing a lot of changes with where we're putting drains and wet rooms, and we're doing more of that kind of stuff. So I think that you're right that there's just, I talk about this all the time, that, you know, the way I try to do something personally is I try to make it so that it's a finished project from the jump. I mean, the framing finished, it looks clean, it looks perfect. The prep finished, looks like you could take a shower in that bathroom.
Well, ironically, you should in the wet room. You should be able to take a shower and
absolutely
put the cosmetic on anyway.
For sure. Yeah. So I think it's great. I love all of this. I mean, it's so great to see I mean, this makes me want to go to work on Monday, right? This makes me want to strap on my knee pads and get better at this trade. So the conversation is incredible, and I think the award is incredible. I think it was Luke that might have reposted this on Instagram, the Gilded Trowel, and that's where I saw this. And when I saw it, I was just blown away. I mean, I think it's an incredible thing, and the amount of work that you've put into this, and the amount of years you have into this industry. You know, right when I think I'm getting somewhere, I realize how much further I have to go, and I love that.
And you know, it's how much further you can go. That's the journey.
There you go. Right.
And it's how much further you can go. And it's like every tile fixer out there that's competent at tile fixing, you know, you can. We all have to do what I call the hospital work, which is the splashbacks and the shower rooms and what have you. But it's you also have to think of ways of getting yourself elevating yourself above that, and having the confidence to do it, the confidence to go in and price the work properly, so you're not putting yourself under undue pressure,
right?
You know? And what happens is you will elevate yourself out of the mass, the masses, you know. You know, I've done contracting. When I was contracting, I might have 150 bathrooms to do on a project, you know, which is just general contracting work, you know, and I've done all of that kind of work. So I kind of understand the cutthroat industry that is as well. But I also know that over the years, and you guys must know as well, that when you get a contractor who's confident in the work that you do, they don't phone anybody else. They know that you're going to turn up on time. They know that you're going to be polite if you're left with the client. They know that you're going to do the job to a very high standard, and they know they're not going to have any comebacks, which is exactly what it's all about. And Yeah. So and the other thing is about this award isn't anything about me. It's because I'm in a position, and the reason it's a gilded trowel is that I now gild glass in 24 karat gold, and I gilded a sculpture for William Shatner, who is a great. I always wanted to meet Captain Kirk, so I've got a bit of a bucket list. So I was taught to gild by a chap called George Clough, of Clough Harris, and I worked with George. And George was given the RVO, which is the Royal Victoria Order Medal, for his restoration work in Windsor Castle. And Her Majesty the Queen absolutely loves this guy, George. And he was the guy that taught me to gild. And I want to use my gilding skills to be able to gild a trowel in 24 karat gold and give it to somebody that's doing really well in my industry. So that's where,
wow,
that's where the idea of the gilded trowel comes from.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And the trowel to be sculpted by a fantastic sculptor in the UK called Charlotte Hearn. She will make the actual trowel itself, and then I will gild it. And I'm an official partner to Swarovski Crystal, so we will have a few Swarovskis on it. We're gonna have a blingy trowel somewhere for
bling bling,
to put on his mantelpiece, and to be very, very proud of. But this industry is all about tile fixers. It's all about us. This is about it's all about the conversations that we can have as friends, as brothers in this industry. No one's out there to stab anyone else in the back. We're all out here to help each other, to take advice from each other, and to become just like a family of a fantastic industry. And then if we make it strong enough and glamorous enough, and we can all earn a really good living, that can give you a good living, and then we can maybe encourage the youngsters into an industry which is the best in the building industry, craft, which
absolutely.
Is the best in the building industry. And that's what this is all about. It's a bit of glam. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah,
we need some glam.
There's nothing serious about this. This is about this is about this is about fun, but it's just showcase. Let's highlight this industry as an industry, as a craft. Let's take it out from that the multi-trader thing. We're not multi-traders. We're craftsmen. We're cosmetics. We're cosmetics. When I was younger, I used to walk on site. Everyone used to step out of the way and say, "Oh, the tilers are here. Get out of the way."
Yeah, exactly.
Give them clear space.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we're fighting everybody.
All the time. It's like, oh man, I can't get my own space. God damn.
What like Jason, I was super excited at Robert, just to let you know, when I saw it your Instagram page, I got really excited. I wanted to learn more. I really dove into your Instagram TV, and I started messaging you right away, and remember, and I'm glad we were able to connect like this. And I really do think this is going to help a lot of tilers, just like your story, really to bring it back around to the beginning. You won that award. I did have one question. Are they still doing that award?
No, they've got the Tile Association, because before the Tile Association in the UK, they do have the Tile Association Award. But this was the National Master Tile Fixers Association, which was the body that was before the Tile Association. And I had no idea that I was nominated for it as an apprentice. I was awarded it. I was told I was given it as a surprise, really. So I didn't know that I was nominated it for it. And the lecturers in the college had nominated me for the award, and it just gave me such. It was awarded by the minister of construction, or it was a government minister that and I turned up to the awards in my overalls, because I didn't really understand.
You just got done setting tile, man. It's all good. It's all good.
I didn't even know, didn't even understand. It's a bit goofy then, so what it was all about. But it gave me such a confidence boost. And now, unfortunately, I mentor students in the UK into the craft industries in communication skills, and the art of communication is as important as anything else.
Absolutely. That you mentioned that the communication with your customers and how you go about your job. Keeping your job site clean and being, I, like you said, I end up with most of my customers end up being friends of mine, and I think that lately I've tried to talk to the guys about my employees about kind of towing that line, and not getting to be so close with customers, because it does get a little sticky there when you become that friend. But after the job's done, to continue a relationship,
absolutely, yeah, that's exactly right.
Is really important. So I think that's really amazing advice on your part, because we preach that a lot in Global Tile Posse, that this isn't just about the install. It's not just about, you know, coming in and doing the work. It's about how you portray yourself as you're doing the work, and
it's also
that makes a big deal.
It's a bit of psychology as well, because as a tile fixer, again, because we're cosmetic, we normally turn up on the job when the client hates contractors.
Done. They're done. Absolutely done. It's at the end of the job. They don't want you there.
We have
Get
to
out of here.
Faith in the building industry when we get there. You know, because they hate contractors generally.
They've been screwed by everybody by the time we get there, and it's like, oh, here we go again. You know, they want you out of the house so bad.
Psychology, you know, so as well. So, but yeah, we get you know, it's an amazing industry. It's a great craft to get into. And this whole thing is about highlighting this craft.
Absolutely.
And let's get a new generation. I mean, hopefully Ken, you know, with what Ken does in the UK, and showcasing the work. So, tile fixing is a tough game as well. You know, it's not like asphalt roofing. It's
tough, man. It's not tough world
like asphalt roofing. But I mean, the format in tile has gone from a 4 1/4 inch tile that I used
super
to
large format
to 3 meter by 1.5 meter. Although it might be 6 mil thick, but I mean, goodness me, there's been a paradigm shift in tiling over the years that I've been a tile fixer, and it's fluid, isn't it? You need to understand new products all the time.
Totally. I think something, and not to interrupt, but I'm curious. You said you won this award at 22 years old. I mean, you've been an apprentice since you were
17.
17.
Yeah, 17.
I mean, you must have just automatically, you've probably known since a young age that you've had this ability with your hands. I mean, since I was young, I've been able to fix things and build things and make things. And so I think that...
no, it came from a different angle, Jason. I was doing art. You know, I wanted to be an artist. You know, it's my dad told me get a bloody job. Do you know what I mean? He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing art and sociology, Dad." He said, "Get a bloody job." You know, so, and I certainly wasn't going to be an asphalt roofer, because I told him that I was overqualified. And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I can bloody read and write for a start." So they told me to get a trade, you know, or advised me to get a trade, and that's when I sat down in the school library and I looked through the building industry and I looked at, you know, plumbing. No, I don't want to do that. And painting and decorating, painting white will no, and then bricklaying, that's outside. And then I saw a mosaic gecko, and I kind of figured, you know, that's when I thought, could I be artistic? And so I think it wasn't the ability. I always had good work ethic, because I was always up early and out early. I had that as an ethic, but what I managed to achieve as an apprentice was because I had a bit of artistic brain. You know, I could see symmetry, or I can see a project finished before I start, and that's that's exactly what you need, that attribute to be a good tile fixer, to know what the job's going to be like when you
can walk into a room and when I know what's going on, and I can kind of it's already built in my eyes when I look at the bathroom. And that's what you're talking about, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's but it was certainly from an artistic point of view that I think I did well. That set me aside from my peers in a sense. It was the artistic side of me, I think. But then again, the format was much smaller, so I could, although we were fixing tiles in sand and cement, so I'd had to use a shovel and carry a bag of cement. But I was you
had to slum it sometimes, is what you're saying.
I got a few bollockings as well as a kid as well.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure you
had to get things a little bit wrong as well. So, but you learn. That's all part and parcel of the staircase that we climb, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, Luke, I don't know about you, man, but this whole thing is amazing, this conversation. And I know that we've got people that are going to see this on Global Tile Posse. We'll repost it on Instagram. And it's not every day that I speak with somebody that just is speaking this language that I totally understand. I mean, sometimes I've said this before, I've often described my world in tile as being on an island, by myself. And then when I got into, the industry and learning about the industry and the certifications and the awards and stuff, I've said this a million times. If I'm on an island, I'm on an island with a whole bunch of people that are like me now, which is really great. And this conversation is that. And I have to say that I think this award is incredible because, and what people need to understand, and I want to reiterate this, is that when I first saw this and I saw some of the work that was involved, I was one of those people that thought, geez, I don't know if I have the chops to enter this thing. But the truth is that what he's saying is everybody has the chops to enter this thing. It's about showing the hard work that you put into this craft and the hard work that you continue to put into this craft. So in August 1st, this is something that you need to enter some pictures in. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the quality of the work or the caliber of the work, that you can look at. As a tile fixer, we can all do it. We sit down, we have a cup of coffee and we look at our tea and we look at the project before we start. We spend a couple of hours just figuring out what's going to go where. Yeah. This is what we do. So it doesn't matter if the tile, if it's a splashback in the kitchen, or it's a wet room, or it's an enormous marble inlaid marquetry floor. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just having the opportunity to be put in front of it and to get your work out there. Yeah. And so this isn't about a class thing. This isn't about the caliber of the job. This is about the quality of the work. And hopefully, with the judges that I have lined up for this award, that there's an opportunity for ordinary tile fixers to
get some recognition,
to put their wares on the table, to get their name into the mix. Yeah, get your name into the mix, and then the world is your oyster. And then if we can just showcase the youngsters, and somebody has to do this work, somebody does it,
right?
Yeah,
and totally.
And that's it. Let it be you. Let it be you that does this work.
That's amazing.
It's out there. The work is out there.
Right.
Somebody has to do it. And that's
absolutely.
It's just showcasing. This is about showcasing my industry, my craft. It's like parts of it, mixing anthracite grout and grout in a metro tile with anthracite, which Ken was doing last week. It did make me laugh because that's a killer. That.
Absolutely.
But from something like that to, fixing a mosaic dome in a palace or something, it's all that. Anyone can do it. You just need the experience, the confidence to get the job done. And that's what this is about. Let's showcase this industry as the industry that it is. And let's get some youngsters. Let's get people fired up about this. It's a great living to be earned.
It is,
great living to be earned.
Absolutely,
Pricing the work correctly. And once you get, the right client base around you, you don't have to price work. They just ask you to turn up.
They just ask you to do the dang work, and
that's right.
Absolutely.
And get it done on time, within schedule, within budget. That's it. That's all they want. And let's showcase this to the kids. Let's get them into it. And that's what this ultimately. And Ken has the same message from Hud's Tile. He has the same message. This is about, it's too late, not too late for me, but what legacy do I lose? At least I can showcase this to the younger generation and prove what can be achieved from a humble 16-year-old apprentice sweeping the yard out for a tile fixing company and loading bags of adhesive onto the pallets for delivery, up to fixing in palaces around the world. It can be achieved. And from living in London, just £39 was my first wage. That was it. 39.
I just actually sent Ken a swag pack here.
Have you?
About a week and a half ago, I sent him a swag pack, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, but it might have been the first. I think aside from Canada, it was the first international swag pack that I sent. I was at the post office, and the post office was a friggin' nightmare, you know, and masks everywhere and chaos, you know, and I had to fill out the international shipping thing. And so I'm hoping he gets that swag pack here soon. And I've been paying attention to him on Instagram. I'm new to Instagram, I guess, fairly new. I didn't really know much about that. I did the Facebook thing first. So that's kind of where you know, where I got my start.
This isn't on Facebook because I don't have a Facebook thing, so I might have to look at possibly setting one up.
Yeah, set one up, because there, you know, I can't speak for. There are a lot of these tile groups in Facebook, and I can't speak for all of them, but you know, with Global Tile Posse, the reason why it was started is because of the negativity that we saw, and for, you know, young people coming into the trade. The negativity really just broke my heart. You know, you see guys posting work and just getting beat up for it. And part of what we try to do here is, you know, post your work and let's talk about it. You know, where did you learn?
That's right.
Who did you learn from? And how long have you been doing this? And send me a private message. Let's talk on the phone, you know? And I think
as an apprentice, I was working in the Saudi royal family's house as an apprentice, right?
Wow.
There were 39 bathrooms. I was part of a company. When I was an apprentice, I was working for a company. There were 4 apprentices, and they had to get staff onto site because the builder was moaning about there not being enough tilers. So they sent 4 apprentices, and they sent me, because I was the blue-eyed boy of the company, but 3 other apprentices, and we were fixing tiles in sand and cement, and all the angles were mitered. And I'd finished this bath, got to a double reveal, and I was 5 mil out of level on a 4-inch reveal.
Oh God!
Wow. So I thought, how far do I have to take the tiles back to try and level it
to
up
fix
again?
that?
To get the miter finished. Unbelievable. But you know, you learn from those mistakes.
Absolutely. Yes.
We all learn from our mistakes, you know. And I think that again, let's not criticize.
There's no room for that in the world, really. I mean, there's no room for that in the world. You know, especially not in this craft that we do. I mean, I feel that you know, we have an opportunity to, if we're lucky enough to be in the position that we are, to have an opportunity to have these conversations and to talk and bring positivity into our trade and to being a tile fixer. That's going to be a hashtag for me, Luke. I got to tell you, the next Global Tile Posse shirt's going to be hashtag fixer. I mean, there's no question. You heard it here first. I don't want to see any other groups copying that. Okay, this is GTP right here. Hashtag fixer. It's going to happen. So one more time, Luke, let's talk. I want to know www. Let's talk about that. Let's get this thing out there.
graceoflondon.com is where people, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's where people can sign up after August 1st.
On August 1st, they'll be able to upload their pictures on www.graceoflondon. And this just showcases the bathtubs that I do now, but this is what I'm doing it through because it's the gold. It's going to be a 24-karat gilded trowel.
That's amazing.
And so so this is all a little bit about fun. This has been a great conversation, you know, and it's reaching out across the globe as well. This is an industry reaching out across the globe because we've got, you know, followers on Instagram from all over the world. And they're all welcome to, you know, let's all just get involved. Let's get the conversation going, and let's not think about ourselves much more for the next generation that are stepping into this industry.
For sure.
You know, and that'll be what this is all about. It's a legacy. Let's leave a legacy, all of us. Let's do it. Let's get involved and stuff. So
I got to say, I mean, it's the 4th of July, you know, and we're kind of waiting for the sun to come out. To be honest, I've been waiting for the sun to come out for about 9 months, but you know, it's going to come out here soon. And to start my day personally, and to start the day on Global Tile Posse, having this type of conversation really gets me pumped up to you know, get back to doing what we do in this craft that we have. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this and just being willing to, you know, I mean, it looks late there. You've already got a glass of wine going. So is it I don't know what time it is.
It's 10 to 8. So
Okay.
and
Perfect
it's
time
my
for
first glass in 10 weeks. So
awesome.
it's going to be. I'm going to enjoy that for sure.
Well, thank you for this, and I'm looking forward to I'm going to keep in touch with you and talk to you more about the competition, and maybe we'll do this again in a few weeks, see how things are going. And
yeah, absolutely. Let's, I'll be announcing the judges. I've announced Vanessa
cool.
As the first judge, and you just need to Google her to see the caliber. The credibility of this awards is really important. This award hasn't just come out of anywhere.
Right.
This isn't about me. This is about, I'm a tile fixer.
Right.
Okay, and this is about the people that are going to be judging this award, and they are the best in the industry at what they do.
Love it.
So
that's fantastic.
And it's just an opportunity for every tile fixer that enters the awards to have their name put on the table.
Perfect.
And hopefully be able to benefit from that. But it's also, let's have a bit of fun. Let's
have some fun, right? Some bling.
And let's show, let's show the younger generations what an amazing. I've had an amazing life with this industry.
Yeah, sounds like
I've worked hard. It's not difficult. It's a difficult industry, so it's a hard industry. My knees are shot. Still got the calluses on my hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I got the knuckles.
35 years. That's right. Yeah, 35 years.
The knuckles right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And
tile knuckles.
Yeah. But let's showcase it at what a great industry this is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
Well, thank you very much. This has been amazing. Guys, yeah. And I'm looking forward to furthering the relationship. And Luke, obviously, thank you for being the man behind all of the digital stuff, man. Because all I do is sit here with these glasses on. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to more conversations like this. Again, amazing. The Gilded Trowel. When you see this August 1st, enter your work into this competition. Get your name out there.
Unashamedly enter your work into this.
Absolutely.
Let's go back 3 years. Take it back. So you might have a job that you did in the archive that you were proud of then. So you haven't got to worry about what you've done in the last couple of months or whatever to be able to enter. But let's take it back. Take it out of your portfolio. Let's get this. Let's get this showcased, and let's just have a bit of fun with this as well. And Perfect. This year, obviously, the award when it's presented will be virtual because of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But, it would be nice to think that perhaps one day, the winners would be able to fly into London or and be presented by a dignitary, not by me, by a dignitary. This award. As a let's look. It depends how we apply application and attitude.
Well, I got to tell you, by the way you've been talking on this thing, I thought maybe the Queen was going to be the one giving the trowel out. I mean, gosh, man, if you haven't been everywhere and done everything, it's incredible. And just so you know, I mean, not that this has anything to do with the conversation, but I watched The Crown. You know what I mean? I'm up on that, man. I mean, that's some crazy stuff. So
don't ask me if it's foggy in London.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks again, Luke. Thank you for this. Thanks for setting this up. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Enjoy your evening, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah, and happy 4th of July, guys.
Happy 4th of July.
Cheers.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.